Hello and welcome to this episode of Nick of Time. We will talk about Nets versus Knicks, Wizards versus Nets, and Knicks versus Suns. I'm gonna first start with the Knicks notes. I'm really impressed. Davis is really impressed with Dottier, and I love Dottier. I think Precom Dottier has to be like one of the best draft picks in the draft because of the way he uses his minutes correctly. He doesn't try to do too much with his minutes. He just tries to get W's. I think it's perfect for the Knicks. It's completely fine to have somebody who just have 0 points, but he can do his job on the defensive end off the bench. Because you already have scores and Deuce, Payne, like and there's all those guys. You already have the you already have the scoring. So when you have somebody like Dottier who can just shoot an open three, play good defense, it's perfectly fine. That's why Davis is impressed into him. That's why he didn't give him more minutes going forward, is because he can do just that. Play defense and shoot threes. That's how it works nowadays. And that's how it just works for him. And that's how he got on the court. I think Huck Porty is better than Sims. I think he is. I don't hate Sims. This is not a hate Sims podcast. Definitely not. But I think that Huck Porty has proved me more defensively and offensively, and just less fouls, and his effort on the court has proved to me more that he's just more of a capable player to put out there after Cat sits down. I think it's a different type of pace, more defense off the bench. I think the defense is better off. I think the defense is better off with Huck Porty. I think the defense with Sims is kind of iffy. So I think that would just be better to try out and see if Huck Porty can defend better. See if he can play with some lineups. Like, who knows if he can play the Cat? Who knows? Can he? Who knows? So I think that's just I think it's just great that you got to just use him more, because he's one of those pieces that is important. Like, he's gonna be important for the Knicks. I just have a feeling with Huck Porty, he's gonna be very important for this Knicks team. The Knicks can play fast. I think that's one of the biggest things going in this game is that the Knicks are a very slow team. These teams are usually faster than them. So the way the Knicks can combat that is by just going fast or playing their own game. And sometimes the Knicks can run fast because they have players like Josh Hart. They have even the Brunsons who can also just run up and down the court. Like, they have guys who can go up and down the court. So I don't know why they just don't do it more. They have guys who can do it. It's just one of those things where we would rather get into a set. We'd rather walk it up after they score. And I get that. But sometimes on missed baskets, the Knicks are still walking up. I don't get it. I think the Knicks need to push the ball more, because I think that gives them more shots at threes. And their three-point shooters are out of this world. I think we'll just open the offense even more and make them more of a kind of unpredictable team than they are right now, because I think they're a little bit predictable. Like, right now, I think they're more of just like, we'll just relax defensively. We'll just get back slowly. But no, what happens if now the defense is on their heels? Now the Nets, Wizards, or Suns are on their heels trying to guard this Knicks team because of the speed they can bring to the squad. I mean, the speed they can bring to the game. They're kind of on ice right now. They don't know what to do. But right now, teams can just walk up defensively. But sometimes you need them to sprint back. What happens if we get them to sprint back? And what happens if we don't have them sprinting back and we just speed up the game? So it's going to keep the defense on their heels. And I think that's where the way the Knicks have to play. It's a little bit faster. Wizards are just a really bad basketball team. They can't defend anything. So that's why the game is really not, I'm not talking about that a lot. The Wizards can't guard anything. Having the rookie Ryan Dunn, who's a great defender from Virginia, great defender. I think he'd be one of the great defenders in the game as he gets older. But he can't guard Jalen Brunson right now. There's no way. The way the savviness of Jalen Brunson with a new rookie, no way. He's gonna get baited into fouls. He's also gonna just get cooked, because it's just a different type of player you're guarding every night. You can guard the Jaws because they're gonna You know they're going to go fast. You know they're going to just try to run and dunk on you, or try to just move you fat. They're trying to just beat you down the court. But this Brunson guy, he'll bring the ball up, and he'll hit you with a few moves, and he'll just get to a spot, and you know he's getting there, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's kind of a different play of the guard. And Ryan Dunn just couldn't hold his own. As simple as that. Made it a point to get in transition. That's why I said we're so much better against the Suns. You know why? Because we mixed the transition with walking the ball up the court. We didn't walk the ball up the court every single play. We got it out in transition. We got open looks. We got open threes. And also helped that we were playing defense well and getting those steals. That got us up in transition. That got us open threes, got us better looks. So that's just a shout out to the coaching staff, knowing that this Knicks team has great potential in the transition game. I think they do. Knicks have definitely found the chemistry. It's just that thing where they know where they are. OG Anunoby knows where Cat is. Mikal knows where Cat is. So I think the chemistry is building. It helps that they're great players, but the chemistry has been building, and I think it's ready now to take on any team right now. That's just they're built up enough, and I think they can take out any team. Knicks can have offensive runs, but the difference between them and other teams, they can have defensive runs where that defense just is suffocating, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, they'll give up points in a whole game sample size, but they'll have a 5-minute stretch where they're locking you the heck up, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's just the difference between the Knicks and other teams. Is other teams have offensive runs, but the Knicks just have defensive runs. Well, they'll just lock you up for a 5-minute stretch. The Knicks, okay, overall, they don't have a great defensive rating, but man, they can go on a 5-minute stretch where they have OG, Mikal, Cat just all getting on a string defensively. That's just a team you cannot beat. Jalen figured out how to get other people involved while not taking himself out of rhythm. I think that's one of the biggest things for Jalen Brunson going into the season is how do I get other players involved without killing my offensive production? And I think he's found a great balance. It definitely helps when he's scoring 30, and he also was feeling it. So players kind of come up and bring double and bring two, and other players are making shots. But man, he just knows. I feel like whenever Jalen Brunson has the ball, I know he has the right interests in mind. I can just sit back and relax as a fan and not go crazy because I know Brunson has the right idea in mind. Every time he walks up that basketball court, every time he walks the ball up, he knows he has the best thing in mind for this team. NBA notes. Let's get into some NBA notes. I think that's big. Jaden Ivey and Kate Cunningham. That backcourt's deadly. I don't understand how they weren't playing them together. Have no clue. But that backcourt's one of the best in the league. I think, me personally, with the way they can kind of run up the court, the way they can really work off each other, it's getting up there in the league. It's really getting up there in the league. I think you give it a few more years, you give it maybe a few more months, they can be up there. But they're a very fun duo to watch. They're just more cutting in Cleveland. Way more cutting, faster pace. It's less predictable. It's better for the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. That's why they're so good. It's because there's more cutting. It's because they're running faster and they're getting up and down court. And they can also walk the ball up, as I said about the Knicks. Teams can walk the ball up, but that's just predictability. They keep their defense on heels with their cutting back door, with their fast moving, and they just keep the defenses on their heels. LaMelo Ball got benched. I think it's because he just cannot hold up his own defensively sometimes. It sucks. It really does, but I think you just got to go with it. You have your best guy take you home. And I know foul trouble stinks, but you got to have your guy take you home. He's going to make mistakes. He's LaMelo Ball. He's young. He's going to make mistakes. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's a thing of just you gotta just trust. You got to trust that your player can make mistakes. You got to trust that there's going to be mistakes being made, but LaMelo can learn from them. And I just wasn't a good play by Charles Lee to have him sit out. Like, why? You got to have your player rust off mistakes, especially in a game where they need a basket and they didn't get up and they didn't score. They didn't get up a shot where they didn't even score the basket, which LaMelo Ball sit on the bench. Like, what do we do now? Like, that's the thing. Bucks stringing wins together. They're doing a great job stringing wins together. Defense looks tighter. Offense looks better. I think the biggest thing is there's no more Gary Trent in the starting lineup, and they're kind of just like maximizing everybody's talent. I think the defense for the first few minutes of that who they play last night, the Pacers game, was remarkable. They weren't letting them touch the paint. They had a perfect idea. They had a perfect stance of what we're bad at and how we're going to change it, and they just did not let the Pacers touch the paint at all. Now the Pacers are a very good basketball team. They didn't. I mean, they're pretty good, but I don't think they're that good. But still, man, they're getting wins. They're getting their confidence up, so they can play better teams, and then you can get wins there. So let's. I don't think this Bucks team is definitely back, but let's keep track on them. Keep them in the back of our mind because they could come back and they could be a good team again. Just keep them in the back of their mind. Yeah, the 76ers is really bad. They have good players. They have Jeremy McCain, Tyrese Maxey. They're two good players. Jeremy McCain's great. I love Jeremy McCain. The way he brings to the Philadelphia 76ers right now. Him and Tyrese Maxey did a great game against Brooklyn Nets. But look, this team just isn't going to be good. If they don't have Paul George, they don't have Joel Embiid, this team's going to be trash. Absolutely trash. It's about the injuries, man. You got to keep people healthy, and that just doesn't give you an identity. They need to get a new identity, but they don't have the players back to create that identity. So right now they're just trying to run it out with Jeremy McCain and Tyrese Maxey, which it does work when the game's against the Nets, but you got games coming up. I think that let's see about their games coming up, and it's really difficult for them to really win those games. I mean, the Clippers, could you win that game? I don't know. Without Paul George and without Joel Embiid, I don't think so. But you can definitely beat the Nets right now. I think that's their kind of cap. DiVincenzo on the trade block. Great to see. I mean, great to see for the Knicks because they knew they gave up a guy that is going to be a trade block in the middle of the season. So what's the point right here for the T-Wolves? And the T-Wolves are a bit of a chemistry kind of concern. The Knicks are finding their stride. The T-Wolves are just not doing so well. And Randall and Gobert not really worked out well. Gobert is crying on the court. It's just not really going well for them right now. We'll see how that kind of resolves if it does. But man, I mean this Minnesota Timberwolves team does not look good with their expectations. It just isn't the way they wanted it to. And man, before we end this, shout out Franz Wagner. Shout him out. Great freaking guy. He's a freaking amazing player. I don't know why people were kind of going crazy on extension. I get it. The three-point shot wasn't there. But again, let's get it. Young players have chances to improve. If you don't have that three-point shot and you're a great player, you could get that three-point shot. He isn't Ben Simmons. He's gonna be able to create a good three-point shot. And Franz Wagner's hitting it at every level. 3-level scorer. That's what he is, and that's what he became to be. And Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero are excited to see it for the next few years. And they're gonna make the Magic. They're gonna make the Magic great because of that defense behind those two star players. It's gonna be fun to watch the Magic going forward with Franz Wagner locked up, with Banchero locked up for a lot of years in the Magic team. They're gonna be a good team. That's gonna do it for the episode of Nick of Time. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video if you're as big as a Knicks/NBA fan as me, because I'll be pumping out this content all season long. Peace out, have a nice day, and let's go Knicks.